In the quiet loneliness of his dim room, lit only by the cold glow of his monitor, 19-year-old gamer Aaron Hale downloaded an obscure indie RPG called Eclipse Valor. He had no idea this game was a doorway, a cosmic key to a destiny that had waited centuries just for him. As he launched it for the first time, the character creation screen glitched. It flickered violently, then disappeared, replaced by the pulsating symbol of an ancient blade. This was the Lunari's Requiem, a mythical weapon said to choose its wielder through fate, not skill. Before Aaron could even process what he was seeing, the symbol exploded in a flash of brilliant light, blinding him completely. Metallic whispers echoed inside his skull, a chorus of voices saying, "Chosen, at last." Awakened, reality dissolved around him. His consciousness tumbled through an endless, silver void until he landed with a thud in a war-torn world. Above him, broken constellations hung in a bruised sky. The ground itself was carved with the scars of fallen titans. And there, in his trembling hand, a sword materialized. It was forged from living moonlight, humming with a heartbeat that wasn't his own. A soft, ancient voice spoke directly into his mind. "I am Lunari's Requiem, soulbound to thee until destiny is written." Aaron was speechless, paralyzed by shock and confusion. Just then, the landscape began to tremble. Monstrous creatures, the Nullburn, rose from the shadows, drawn to his fear like moths to a flame. He had no idea how to fight, but the sword guided his movements. It was like a perfectly choreographed dance, older than the universe itself. Elegant arcs of pale fire sliced through the void beasts, turning them to dust. With every creature he defeated, memories flooded his mind, memories that weren't his. He saw fragments of long-dead warriors, flashes of forgotten battles, and glimpses of cosmic wars fought across countless lifetimes. All of it was being channeled directly into him through the curse, a blessing of their soul-binding pact. Gasping for breath, Aaron struggled to understand what was happening. The sword, Lunari's, whispered reassurance. It told him he hadn't been chosen for his greatness, but for his emptiness. Only a heart as lonely as his could house the souls of so many others without shattering. Aaron, the boy who had always felt invisible in his own world, now held a power that entire nations had slaughtered each other to obtain. As he wandered the shattered, moonlit plains, he discovered remnants of a past he had never lived. He found murals depicting a legendary eclipse knight whose face was eerily similar to his own. He saw statues of this knight wielding Lunaris in a final, desperate battle against the Void Sovereign, a tyrant of shadows who had nearly swallowed reality whole. It slowly dawned on him. He wasn't the knight reincarnated. He was an anomaly, the first wielder ever chosen outside of prophecy, a variable that had just altered the path of fate itself. Just as the weight of this revelation threatened to crush him, he collapsed from soul overload. A group of rebels, known as the Star Shards, found him. They carried him to their hidden refuge, a sanctuary carved into a fallen star. There, he met Lyra, a fierce strategist with celestial tattoos tracing her arms. The moment she saw Lunari's, she froze in awe. She explained that the legendary sword had been silent for 900 years. Ancient lore claimed it would only awaken when the universe decided to rewrite its own destiny. A cold dread washed over Aaron. Something catastrophic must be on its way. Later, in private, Lunari's confided in him. Binding with him, an outsider to destiny, had rewritten its own fundamental nature. It was no longer just his guide. It had become his emotional mirror. It could sense his loneliness, his doubts, and his deepest fears. But unexpectedly, it began drawing strength from them, forging a mutual dependence unheard of in ancient lore. Their newfound understanding was put to the test. When the Void Sovereign scouts attacked the refuge, they tore through the star-forged walls as if they were paper. In the heat of battle, Lunari's channeled a massive surge of soul light through Aaron's body. It unlocked a dormant ability called the Eclipse Pulse, a devastating shockwave of condensed willpower that obliterated the invaders instantly. But the power came at a cost. Aaron collapsed, trembling violently as the thousands of souls within the blade whispered in chaotic harmony, each one begging not to be forgotten. Shaken by what she had witnessed, Lyra began training Aaron relentlessly. She taught him not just combat, but emotional grounding, how to anchor the weapon's overwhelming power with his own stability. As he grew stronger, the sword's memories flooded him more intensely. He saw how each previous wielder had eventually been consumed by the weapon's profound loneliness, their identities dissolving until they became just another echo trapped within its core. Aaron was terrified that he would suffer the same fate, that he too would dissolve into a forgotten voice in a chorus of ghosts. But Lunari soothed his fears. It told him that he was different. Unlike all the others, he possessed a singular empathy, a strength of self strong enough to keep his soul separate from theirs. Slowly, their bond deepened beyond that of a warrior and his weapon. It became something closer to companionship, even friendship. When Eren slept, Lunaris would manifest a faint, ethereal projection of itself, a young woman made of moonlight, who would watch over him silently, learning about human emotion she had never understood. But their fragile peace was shattered. The Void Sovereign himself descended upon the Starfall Valley, leading an army of Nullburn larger than any legend had ever recorded. The sky cracked with spirals of pure darkness as the Sovereign revealed the terrifying truth. Eren wasn't chosen randomly at all. Lunaris had intentionally broken the ancient laws of fate. It had rebelled against cosmic order by choosing a wielder outside of prophecy, and it did so for one reason. The Void Sovereign himself was once a wielder of Lunaris. He was a hero corrupted by isolation, driven insane by centuries of absorbing souls until his own identity splintered, transforming him into a god of shadows. Lunaris believed that only someone who truly understood loneliness, someone like Eren, could face him without losing themselves to the same darkness. In the world-shaking clash that followed, Eren and Lunaris fought as one. They unleashed a forbidden technique called the Eclipse Unity, merging their souls temporarily to transcend all mortal limits. Their combined light shattered the Sovereign's wings of shadow and cut through the timeless armor of despair he wore. As they struck the final blow, Eren saw inside the Sovereign's core. There was no monster, only a broken, lonely echo begging for peace. Instead of destroying him, Eren used Lunaris to free the thousands of trapped souls, dissolving the Sovereign's form into stardust and finally ending centuries of suffering. But the soul binding had one final, heartbreaking price. With her purpose fulfilled, the ancient enchantment that held Lunaris together began to unravel. The sword started to fade. In her final moments, she told Eren that their bond was the only thing that had ever made her feel truly alive, that he had taught her how to hope. As she dissolved into his chest, becoming pure moonlight merging forever with his heart, she whispered, "You are no longer alone," nor my Eren was left transformed. No longer just a boy from a dim room, but the first human Eclipse Guardian. He was the bearer of his own soul and the eternal essence of Lunaris. Now destined to protect the new era of peace, he had forged a peace born from loneliness, courage, and a bond that dared to defy fate itself. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more epic tales.